Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have another entry for the current My Favorite Things sketch challenge, and this time I am using a circle. So I'm really excited to show you how I created this card. Not everything went as smoothly as I wanted to, but as long as it turns out gorgeous, then we can handle anything. So I'm starting first with coloring in my images, and for today I am using the gorgeous Fox and Friends by My Favorite Things. This stamp set is quite wintry, but they're also so cute, and with these gorgeous bears in the airplanes, I just adore them. They can be used for winter cards, definitely Christmas as well. I already used it on one of I already used them on a Christmas card, yes. But today I'm doing a birthday card because there is a really lovely person that is going to celebrate his birthday. So I wanted to make some sort of a masculine but cute card for him. So I'm starting with the coloring. And today I'm using my Copic markers. So I stamped these images out on Neenah 110. And I did that with Gina K Designs Amalgam ink. So as you see me coloring these images, you probably already noticed that I start with my darkest color, then go to my mid-tone, and then to my lightest. That's how I lately work, but there are so many ways to color with Copic markers that you just need to do whatever works for you. Like, there are also some color families that I really need to start with the lightest first to sort of have a base. Because they are hard to blend. I have some difficulties with the violets, but they are gorgeous. I don't use them often enough, but it's maybe because the blending isn't going as smooth or as easy as I would love them to, but definitely then I would start with the lightest color. For the details of these images, I am using almost all the same blues. The blues that I'm using today are 99, 97, 95, 93 and 91. But I'm just using them differently together. I'm switching from combination to combination, but these are so close to each other that it's really easy to create a nice blend and to really have some different shades of the same blue that work with each other. And that's what I was going for. So today this card is all about blues because it's pretty, and I think it's also a color that really can turn out to be really masculine, of course also feminine, but I just thought that with the idea also of doing some sort of skyish thing, blues all the way sounded as a nice idea. So I'm just coloring my way through these images, and then I will take the matching dies to cut everything out. I prefer having dies. There are not a lot of people that I actually know that have dies. They use scan and cut. I also have one from Brother actually, but I am not happy with the end result, unfortunately. I think it's also because I'm used of dies, and then I thought I'm going to do the investment of buying a machine to sort of be able to buy more stamps without needing the dies, but then I'm so used of the gorgeous finishing of dies that I'm just not happy enough with the cutting machine. But there's definitely something that you can do, and then there are people who are really look up to that fussy cut everything. I have been fussy cutting lately, and I must admit I prefer it over the result of my machine that I have. So I would definitely do that if I don't have the dies, because I got some amazing scissors by Annette. But yeah, respect. So now onto my background. Therefore, I'm using the Circle Extraordinaire Stencil by My Favorite Things. And I'm starting with the circle. Here everything went wrong. This circle just wasn't working. The colors that I wanted to use weren't working. this is Neenah. Maybe it would have been a bit more forgiving with Threadmore Bristol Smooth, but I use Neenah, so I'm just going with it. But you will see the colors just weren't working. So I'm also only listing the colors that I actually had in the end of my background, not all the in-betweens, because they weren't good. Like, yeah. But I started with Tumbled Gloss. I added darker shade of blue in the middle, and I wanted to have some sort of a gradient. First of all, it wasn't easy to not have a splashy background. I prefer starting on the edge and just making it softer, but now I wanted to have the darkest color in the middle, so that was a bit hard. But yeah, with this stencil you also have a circle. So I was going to add that circle on top of this blended part, and then I could just mask off the diagonal part of this background and then also ink blend that. For the diagonal part, I am using Broken China and Tumbled Gloss, and I really like the end result. So here I have tilted my panel and I'm using the lines on my grid mat to help me get this huge stripe straight and parallel. So I'm just ink blending Broken China on the top, and then I have a gradient towards the Tumbled Gloss. And then when I removed the circle, I was so disappointed. Like, the colors just didn't work together. Like, let's be real, it was ugly. And then I first thought that it was just too dark. So my idea was to add white and then soften it like this. So here I wasn't giving up yet. Yeah, there were some lows in this card making process, but in the end. Okay, so I first wanted it a bit brighter on the edges, and then I went over it with white because this wasn't working. So I just took my Hero Hues. This is a gorgeous white pigment, so if you're looking for one, I would recommend this one. But then again, I don't have any other one because I like it, so I cannot compare it for you with anything, but I like this white. And then just adding the white just made it really dull, and I didn't like it either. So I thought maybe just on the edges I'm going to ink blend a bit, and then the edges will jump out of it and then just soften. Not working. I was really disappointed. And then I thought maybe I just need to lay out my images, and I might figure out then which colors I need for this circle. So I laid the images out, and I just thought maybe going really dark is the only solution. So before doing that, I must admit I was like almost giving up on this panel. I also texted Julia. I told you in one of my latest videos that you definitely can ask around if you're stuck. Like, I already tried 4 or 5 attempts to get this background to work, and it just didn't. So I asked her, and she thought that it was a good idea. So here you can see me use chipped sapphire and black soot. But let's be real, if this one wasn't working, then I would really had to start over, because this was going so dark that there was no coming back from it. So I started with chipped sapphire, and I'm going to add black soot on the edges. So what happened here was completely not the idea that I had in my head, but maybe it just turned out even better, and then we just should be happy. So I really made it really dark, because there was also the white pigment underneath. So I had to add quite a lot of layers to get it dark. And then I thought, okay, now doing some ink splatters with some white gouache. And then I have a night sky part and just a regular blue background part. I don't know. I was masking off the other parts of this panel. And now I'm going to just slightly dilute my gouache. And then I can just splatter it all over this circle. And I'm going to splatter quite heavily. Like, I'm not holding back. I also used I added a lot of the gouache on my acrylic block. So a lot was wasted, but I really like the end result. So it was worth it. And I just keep splattering. Like, I don't think that I have ever splattered this much on such a tiny space. But I like it. So I cleaned off my acrylic block, my paintbrush, and then it was time to remove my stencil. And I was really lucky that apparently the paint already dried, because my stencil shifted while I was removing it, or actually my panel underneath shifted, which was definitely not the idea that I had in my mind. But you can see here, and I was like, no! But no worries, I was really lucky. So that's my background, and I hope you like it as much as I do. But this one, I was just not going to be able to top this one. So then I had to figure out the sentiment. And let me tell you something about the sentiment. I first was going to do it on a strip of paper. And then with all this background changing, I just wasn't sure of anything anymore. And yeah, we just kept it simple. I'm stamping happy birthday there. And I also again laid my panel on an angle so that I could see with the squares of the grid on my Misty if it was aligned straight. And now I'm masking off the rest of the sentiment because I just want happy birthday. And I'm always doing that with purple tape. Purple tape is so easy. You can just wiggle it, you can press it in between the letters. And I'm going to stamp this multiple times to get a great impression. Don't forget to add your mask again and ink it up again. I prefer using new purple tape each time because you know how easy it is to smudge your project. And when I reuse my purple tape where there is still some residue of the ink, then chances are high that I will smudge with my fingers on this panel. And I did do that as well without having ink on my fingers, but I still had some blues from the ink blending. So yeah, that also happened. You can remove that with a sand eraser. Some papers will show it, others less. And I think Neenah is quite forgiving for using the sand eraser. Papers that have some sort of a more glossy finish, I wouldn't recommend it. But then again, starting over is also a pain. So maybe it works. Like as a last resort, I would definitely try it and then see. So all my images will go sort of in the same angle, but these two, the bunny and the bear on the bottom, they are just forming the angle by themselves together. That's not a sentence. They are in the angle when you combine them. Like I couldn't put them like crooked on there. The flying bears, however, can like be descending and just going up. So I thought that worked. So I'm adding everything, and when everything is on there, I can just add this panel onto a card base and just finalize it by adding some stickles. And this time I'm using the Stardust stickles. Normally I use diamond, but recently I bought 2 other stickles, so now I can just switch from time to time. So today I'm using the Stardust and I'm just adding it on the bottom of each cloud, and then I will add some glossy accents to all of the noses because that's cute. And then this card will be finished, so still a bit of glitter on a masculine birthday card. I think that should should be a possibility. In the end, we are the makers, so we cannot choose about it. Like, yes. So I'm adding the Stickles glossy accents, and then this one will be finished. I really hope that you enjoyed this card and that you also like how it ended up in the end, because this was not the plan. But yeah, if you have any questions, you just leave them down below in the comments and I will get back to you as quick as possible. If you're wondering what I used for this card, there is a supply list in the description box. I am going to link towards the current sketch challenge so that you can see when the deadline is and also just get inspired by so many people. Everyone who is entering can link up their projects, so if you find something gorgeous, then you can just click through and you will immediately go to their site or their Instagram page, whatever they entered with. And this can be such an inspiring process, so I hope you will check it out and maybe participate. And that will be it for today. Have a wonderful day left, and I will see you soon. Bye!